Hi, my Aquariuses. Welcome to your November monthly zodiac sign reading. I'm Christine. Welcome to my channel. If you're new or a returning member, I'm really grateful and happy to see you and have you back. We're going to get started with your reading. We're going to use some oracle and tarot today to see what is happening. I hope you all are doing well. We're still in the midst of the eclipse energy. I'm actually filming this the day of the eclipse. But always, just quick reminders as I shuffle these cards, always use your intuition, practice discernment, and take what resonates and leave the rest. Because I am reading for a bunch of Aquariuses, not just one. So let's get started and see what the universe wants you all to know for the sign of November. And if you're here and this is your first time, I tend to do and prefer soul-guided, soul development readings so you can get the most out of them for your own growth. We have the ever unfolding rose. One of the earth signs got this. There's something about roses. A lot of signs are getting this. Gemini just got this. A strong focus on roses. So if you have any major Gemini placements, you may want to take a look at the Gemini reading. Cracked open. It's happening for you, not to you. So there is some change that has been happening. And again, whenever I think of roses, to me, I get relationships, love, right? It could be some type of ending in a relationship. It doesn't have to be, because in most elements, there's a foundation of love. It could be romantic or friendship or someone close to you. I also feel like this speaks to tackling or getting very vulnerable with your emotions. Like I'm getting vulnerability, intimacy, closeness, connection, truth. It's almost like the universe is saying it's now or never. It's time you get into your heart space and you actually feel. I kept saying that with Gemini's reading. I felt like they were being cracked open. In fact, the title of their video or part of it is like cracked open like a walnut. Again, strong resonance here. There's something about it. At the bottom of the deck, we have leap. You go first, the universe will catch you. So some of you are about to start something new. This is a very different sensation that I'm getting. And I know with this eclipse energy we had, Uranus played a big role here because it was impacting many of the planets and aspects within this. There were a lot of players involved. And Uranus is about essentially breaking down anything that's no longer working and bringing about new innovation, changes, visions, something different. So I feel like you're being called to approach your life in a different way, to do something very different. And it has to do with your emotions, your relationships with people. It's almost like an unveiling of yourself, like an unveiling I'm getting. It's like once something happens or once you see it or know it or feel it, you can't undo it. I'm just getting, I keep looking at this. I'm getting an influx of emotions here. Because we have 3 roses. So this could speak to community, to a group, like a friendship group, some type of relationship or relationships in your life. Could be about friendship. Pink generally is denoted as the color of friendship. But I feel like there's been some type of emotional switch or shift in your path that is coming that's going to feel very different than what you're normally used to working with. And I know as air signs, they tend to be more detached from emotions than other signs. And of course, this depends on placements, right? Other placements, especially with your moon and your Venus. But I feel like here, it's similar energy to Gemini's reading. It's like you're becoming or being called to become very vulnerable and to step in that part of yourself that maybe you have been afraid to go into, to confront, to even be in, because this is about unveiling your true self. Everything. What you may deem good, bad, everything. Let's see what other messages the universe has for you, my Aquariuses. What else do they want you to know for November. Okay. The bottom of the deck, we got Venus Love. Gemini got this card. Okay, we got Leo, the lover. Expressive, creative, loving, playful, warm, overt, self-confident, confident, flirtatious, glowing, bedazzling, extroverted, vital, guileless, egotistical, juicy, proud, trusting, and expressive. Again, we got, these look like peonies. We got Mercury, communication, words, thoughts, analysis, information, learning, trade, ideas, smarts, reporting, awareness, vision, lens, palette, perception, curiosity, narrative, muse, wonder. Some of you may have your Mercury in Leo. We got Sun. Wow, the Sun rules Leo. Essence, energy, self-awareness, life force, spirit, creativity, honor, masculinity, distinction, childishness, ego, individuality, solitude, expression, self-sufficiency, shine, harpy, and father. Again, do you see the egg? It's cracked open. What is it with, and there's a heart too. Look, it's cracking your heart open. This is connecting. Leo's the 5th house ruler, right? Of creativity, expression, love, romance, dating, children, the inner child. We got Scorpio, the powerhouse. Transformative, intense, passionate, secretive, carnal, thorough, obsessive, intimate, primal, lusty, deep, eternal, resourceful, mysterious, regenerative, compulsive, destructive, and manipulative. So again, we got Leo and Scorpio here. You may have major placements, perhaps depending on what you're here for, which sign, Sun, Moon, Rising, Mercury, Venus, Mars, North Node. Any other placement. Your Mercury may be in Leo or Scorpio. Your Sun may be in Leo and Scorpio. And you're seeing this because you may have another aspect in Aquarius. Or you're being called to embody these energies. Again, both of these speak to love, relationships. Leo starts us off with dating and romance, right? And we got the Sun too. It's the essence here. And Scorpio goes way deep into the darkness with intimacy, vulnerability, and connection, because this is the house of shared resources, of long-lasting partnerships, right? So again, this to me, it feels like, and we got cracked open, literally like cracked open. I feel like your heart, this is about your heart space. Very, again, very similar to Gemini's. Your emotions, your heart space, vulnerability. It's about connecting on a deeper level to you. There's a transformation here. Expressing yourself in an authentic way. Because the more you connect to yourself, the more you are going to really be in tune with your true life force energy, what you're here to do. And you are going to assist others as well, but more importantly for yourself. There's like a change in your own paradigm, your own way of thinking, of doing, of communicating perhaps. I feel like some of you, there's going to be like a level of warmth in your communication, very expressive, perhaps childlike. Not, doesn't mean it's unintelligent or stupid. There's like a charismatic, authentic way, because when we tap into our inner child, it's a beautiful, buoyant energy of lightness, but it's just who you are. It's your essence. It's your truth. And I feel like with the Scorpio card, it's about confronting any pain, any shadows, healing, and also coming into terms, or coming to terms with who you really are. Some of you may have been guarded. Your heart may have been closed, your emotions stifled, or you may have experienced some type of pain and trauma growing up that prevented you from really expressing yourself, from tapping into your emotions, perhaps because your caretakers weren't comfortable with their own emotions. Total shift. I'm not surprised we got Scorpio here. Scorpio asks us to really dig deep and connect and be vulnerable and be intimate, because Scorpio doesn't do light and fluffy, right? Scorpio doesn't do superficial feelings, relationships, talks, anything. It's about really connecting to someone on a soul level. What other messages does the universe have, please, for my Aquariuses? Okay, we got choosing your path. All is possible. Look what we have at the bottom here, answering the call. The time is now. Bottom of the deck. Choosing your path. Some of you may be traveling, especially with Mercury. But I feel like this is going to set you off on a new path, a different path. Perhaps just a revitalization of how you approach what it is that you do, how it is you communicate, how it is you convey yourself. Because the sun is about yourself, your total essence, right? Who you are, your general personality. There could be a shift, especially as you get more in touch with your vulnerable side. This also speaks to your feminine energy. When you get more in touch to your, well, we have feminine energies here with Scorpio, but this to me speaks of approaching. This is very much a mindset shift more than anything. It's like seeing the world through a different lens because of how much you are changing within. Obviously, the way you approach and see things from your own eyes, it's going to be very different. I feel like it's going to be very expansive and open you up to many more opportunities, because now that you're connecting more to your true self, to, I would say, deep, darker waters, right? To the most intimate parts of yourself. It's very close heart connection. It's going to change how you connect to people, how you talk, how you act, how you do, because you're not operating in a very detached way, but you're consistently connecting to who you are. When we connect with our heart and how we feel instead of how we think, it's a very different emotive response and a very different sensation. What other messages, please, does the universe have for my Aquariuses? Interesting, we got Leo. I just made the connection now as I'm shuffling, because Leo is your polar sign, and you both are fixed signs, and so is Scorpio. We're only missing Taurus here. Okay, we got, for these cards, be nimble. When we ask for help, we must be open to receiving it. We may be called to be flexible when help arrives in an unexpected form. When we do tap into feminine energy, it's about receiving. So some of you may be called in November to work on being more receptive, to increase your level and awareness of receptivity. Because some of you may subconsciously, there's a shitload of flowers in your reading. Gemini got this too, look at this. To me, flowers are very feminine energy, because flowers, we don't force them to grow. We're not like, okay, you need to grow, 2 centimeters today. No. Flowers very much grow at their own rate, right? As long as we nurture them, give them some water, that's it. They grow with, adequate space, with adequate sunlight and water, and perhaps, atmosphere, the climate. They'll do fine on their own. So there's an energy here of being open, being receptive, and not just going with the flow, but when help arrives, to not resisting that. Because some of you may very much operate in your masculine energy of constantly doing and of not accepting help. And this is part of your development with your emotional side, with emotional vulnerability. It's okay to show your emotions. It's okay to ask for help. We also have 32, conquer fear. Most fear is based on illusions, on truths we deny to avoid change. Release your need for control and perfection. Doing your best is plenty. So these are things to simply be aware of. Again, when this is more with a wounded masculine, and when we, because there's a lot of, and again, gender, in this case, if you are a female and you operate mainly in your masculine, it may be more of a wounded nature where you try to control things instead of, producing or doing things that are in alignment to what you want to do, right? And working. There's a lot of focus here on releasing. This is the vulnerable aspect. It's very vulnerable when you are so used to controlling something, to release, to surrender, to trust that things are going to work out. The same thing when it comes to receptivity, to receiving from others, to asking for help. You are, I was gonna call you my emotional Aquariuses. You are starting this cycle, this journey of emotional vulnerability. Let's grab some tarot and see what else is in store for you. Okay. What other messages does the universe have, please, for my Aquariuses? Thank you. That's it. We got one. We got 4 of discs, which is earth energy, Capricorn, Virgo, Taurus. This is about not keeping yourself, not holding yourself back. You may have almost like self-limiting beliefs, values, mindsets that are holding you back, when really you have everything you need to overcome these. So this could be some form of fear, self-sabotage. Again, it could be control. Any other messages, please, for my Aquariuses? Anything else they need to know for November? Okay, we got 2 cards. Hold on. Again, we got 8 of Swords at the bottom. There's a feeling of self-restriction, because you can escape this. You have more control than you realize when it comes to yourself and conquering these things, because there's an element of holding yourself back. And again, I feel like there may be fear. You may be a little bit reticent, nervous about this path of openness, of receptivity, of being in an energy that you're not accustomed to being in, especially if it means not controlling things and just allowing things to flow. It's a very, very different, and I know that from personal experience. It's like, woo. For some of you, this is going to help tremendously with your relationships, especially in your romantic life, because you may have found yourself trying to control things and move things and force things, and they didn't work out in that way. Okay, you got the Empress. I get Libra, Taurus energy. It's Venus. And then we got 2 of Cups, water, Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio. This is very much, I feel, I'm getting several things here. I feel like the more you pour into yourself, it's like massive self-love. This is about taking care of yourself, beautifying yourself, whatever that means to you, healing, nurturing yourself. The more you tap into all aspects of your mind, body, soul in this feminine embodiment, you are going to help cultivate this love for yourself, this comfort and this vulnerability that'll help express, that'll help you express in that way that's a little bit different. But each part of those elements that I mentioned with those mind, body, soul practices. Hi, my Aquariuses. My apologies for the interruption. As I was saying with your card, the more that you continue to pour into yourself, to take care of yourself and nurture this aspect of yourself, especially when it comes to the emotional side, which is really connected to the embodiment, to different practices that you partake in for your self-care, self-love, it's going to make you like a magnet and magnetize other people into your life. And I feel for those of you that are looking for a romantic partner, this is going to call it in. because I feel like this is the next step in your soul journey, is emotional connection and intimacy with yourself. And obviously it's going to be reflected towards others, because Scorpio and Leo energies, it's about diving deep with Scorpio. And Leo is very much about, you know, exuberance, love, creativity, expression, passion. And this is not just in the way you communicate, but your outer reflection too, your personality, yourself. So it's like an upgrade to yourself. And this is an element of healing too. And so you do have an option, I feel. Some of you may choose to embrace this and you're like, okay, but others, it may, again, tap into deep seated fears because it's scary. Some of you may deal with attachment issues. We all have that, right? Different attachment styles, I should say. Secure, avoidant, anxious, dismissive, avoidant, right? Anxious, preoccupied, and fearful, avoidant, disorganized. So some of you may be afraid of showing your emotions for that reason. You may even have Leo in your 5th house. It rules the 5th house. Or you may have Scorpio in your 5th house. Feel there's something here that's being activated, that's causing you this change. And so again, for those that are wanting a romantic partner, this is going to call it in. Because like generally attracts like. If you are emotionally unavailable, if you haven't really felt comfortable connecting to your emotions and being vulnerable and opening up to others and feeling that, that's something to work on, because otherwise you're going to attract partners that are either closed off, detached, or don't care about your emotions. And those that are in relationships, this is going to be like a level up, a deepening of your connection. Also too, for those that may be in relationships and you may be feeling as if you're not sure, is this the right one for me? You will know, because as your values shift and as you continue to work on your emotional connection with yourself, if you reflect it outwards to your partner and to those that you're in close connection with, like friends and family, and they don't reciprocate, you're going to know easily and pretty quickly where they stand. And so obviously people have to do their own work. You can't do it for them. They have to meet you somewhere in the middle and be like, okay, I'm willing to work on this, to step it up in the relationship. Okay, we're gonna tap into some shadow work oracle with the dark mirror oracle to see what it is you need to be aware of and what you need to release for this month, especially since we are in Scorpio season. So there's fears for some people, shadows coming up, simply for awareness and integration, and some wounds too for healing. Okay. We got the temple of my body. Look at this. I got a vampire, even though this person, there's nothing we would denote as a vampire. To me, this speaks to nurturing yourself, loving yourself. This is the feminine aspect. Perhaps it deals with like mothering, like feeling loved. This is what I'm getting. I'm not even getting aesthetic, like with body or anything. I'm sensing here more, it's about not feeling loved. And perhaps there's like a missing piece of the puzzle in your life that you're feeling like growing up. And even in your relationships, as you look back, you may not have felt the love that you wanted, and you may have sought it in different ways, and it manifested in toxic ways, negative ways that only hurt you, that undermined or negated who you really were, and only reinforced whatever that other person, you know, said to you, or people, because this could be outside of romantic relationships, not just in that way. It could be in friendships too, family, people that you work with. I feel this is very much about connecting to who you are, not rejecting yourself. I'm hearing self-rejection. Some of you may have rejected yourself since you were very young. Perhaps I'm sensing around adolescence, teenage years, puberty, up to now. And you may have experienced that in the relationships. And these are all types too, not just romantic. Friendships, family. You may have felt like an energy of people rejecting you, and then this is like an abandonment wound of not feeling loved, not feeling valued, not feeling worthy. I want to read from the book here to give you a little bit more detail. Okay, the stage, it's depression. It says, I feel I am not worth enough. My body is the temple of my soul. It has no secrets to me. This card is about the darkness in the body. Culture can make us take distance from what is our corporality. So many religions and customs, for instance, demonize sex in many different ways, lacing it with guilt, as an assassin could lace food with poison. On the other side, we are collaborators in cheapening our body, hiding it, being shamed by it, selling it, giving it away for nothing. It happens when we accept an abusive relationship, when we refuse to respect the body of another, or more simply, when we do things like being too lazy to eat healthy. Maybe it's a typo here. Our body is a temple. It cannot be defiled. We can take a shower, raise our chin, feel proud. It is our body, ours. So this also speaks to something what I discounted earlier. This is the card. What I intuitively got was more of connection to self, but this could also speak to rejection. I got generally rejection, but this could be rejection of your body. Again, it stems from not feeling valued or worthy. Some of you may have grown up feeling like allowing others to violate you in different ways. And I'm talking about boundaries, right? Not in an abusive way, but it can also too manifest in abuse, unbeknownst, right? Unknowingly, subconsciously, we accept that because we feel that's the best we deserved. So this is something that's coming up for awareness during Scorpio season, and you have it here. Some of you may have maybe your Chiron in Scorpio, but I feel like this is coming up for awareness about your values, especially when it comes to relationships and to others, to yourself, to themes around sex, sexuality, power. You may have given your power away unknowingly to others, especially in your partnerships, and you weren't treated, you weren't loved, you weren't nurtured in the way that you wanted to. So this is something to think about. What's coming up for you about it? Perhaps journal around this. I'll put it up here. What does this come up? What comes up for you? What do you intuitively feel? Because this may connect to you in many different ways, whether it's something traumatic or abuse that you've experienced. I get a lot of relationships, your relationship with others and how your relationships have gone, your relationship to sex and intimacy, not just physical intimacy, but emotional intimacy, and your agency, your sovereignty with sex, with your body. And we're gonna pull some oracle here and see what else comes up for you all. Perhaps, let me pull. Oh, we got one. Sometimes we repress our emotions, especially if we've experienced toxic, negative, abusive relationships, any type of emotional, physical, sexual abuse, anything that may have hampered or crossed boundaries or violated us in some way that could close your heart, and in other terms, close off your emotions. So it's almost like you're working backwards, because here, look at this. It may look all light and fluffy with the rose and like, yeah, we're being cracked open. But in reality, there's a lot of fears that come up. You got this too. There's a lot of fears because it's a vulnerable aspect. You may have shut a part of yourself off to the world. And again, you may have diminished this part of yourself because of something you've experienced. We got quick-tempered. Think before you speak. Well, we got the sun and we got Mercury here. Put space between your thoughts and the words that come out. So words definitely have power. I know many Aquariuses, they're amazing with words. Excellent communicators as well. So think about situations, because these are shadow aspects to contemplate and to simply integrate. Why do you become quick-tempered? What did someone else trigger in you that has allowed you to react in this way? Maybe because when you were younger or in relationships, because trauma happens, beyond childhood, or even if you didn't experience it, it could happen throughout your early adulthood depending on where you are in this season of life. Maybe someone silenced you. You weren't allowed to speak your truth. You weren't allowed to connect to your emotions or express yourself. If you cried, if you talked, if you complained, you were shut down. And so I feel like this may trigger some of you. When you want to communicate and someone shuts you down, it could immediately take you back to that place in life where you first experienced this trauma. So this is something to be aware of, something to, I always say, journal, contemplate, and see what comes up, because these are all aspects that can close you off, close your heart and your emotions. We are going to wrap this up with 2 final oracle cards. Let's see what other messages the universe has for my Aquariuses, please. Did I just make that plural? Nope, we're gonna go again. What other messages does the universe have, please? What do my Aquariuses need to know for November? Okay, we got 1. Gratitude. I am thankful for this life and the opportunities that it presents. So you're being guided in November to connect with the practice of gratitude, of appreciating what you have in your life, who you are, particularly when it comes to yourself. Give yourself grace, compassion, and a lot of space, especially as you conquer any fears, because you have so many strong elements within you. I'm sensing a ferocity here, a resiliency. So make sure to also take that into account when you give thanks for everything that is working for you in your life. And we'll get a final message from the Archangel. What do the Archangels wish to convey to my Aquariuses, please, for November? We'll go more time. Otherwise, we will pick the card at the bottom. Okay. You didn't get any, but we're going to look at the bottom of the deck. What's hiding what you should know? Archangel Mallory, remember who you are. Take action when you are ready. This is connecting you back to your soul, what you came here, who you came here as. I heard, like, before you experienced any of this, because you are all love. My Aquariuses, I hope this reading has helped. Comment down below. If this resonates, let me know. I love connecting with you all. If this has helped in any way, if you got any golden nuggets out of this, I would love it if you could support me and my channel, like, share this with any others, subscribe so that other people can also see this video. And otherwise, I am wishing you a beautiful rest of November, and I will see you soon. Take care.